Hi, I have ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I made this video trying to learn a piano thing kind of by accident. See, I was on the way to the shower and thought, let me try this thing. I couldn't get yesterday real quick. And yes, that is a very ADHD thing in the sense that everyone understands it, easily distractible type of thing. But I ended up not moving, playing the same 4 bars of music over and over and over for about 45 minutes. Most people think having ADHD means I have an inability to focus. What it really means is that I and the rest of the 4% of Americans with adult ADHD have an inability to regulate my focus. It's okay that most people don't know this. It's a very poorly named condition. When you read ADHD, it's very negatively and specifically worded. You have a deficit of attention. You are hyperactive. Also, obviously, it's a disorder, suggesting your brain is out of line somehow, out of order, that you have been assembled incorrectly compared with the neurotypical brain. Sometimes, yes, I am very easily distracted, like in this video when I was on the way to the shower. Noticed the keyboard I got for Christmas to try and learn piano as a 34-year-old and thought I should try and play that can-can melody I couldn't figure out yesterday. I should record it. Maybe I'll get it in a minute and I can put it online so everyone will encourage my children's art, like a macaroni necklace on the fridge. I did not think I'm naked on my way to the shower. This can be later, after you finish what you were doing. Perhaps you should also wear clothes for this. Perhaps you don't need to film this. A better way to understand ADHD and how it's not even about focus regulation at all is to understand it as what it is, a dopamine receptor deficiency. We are constantly looking for dopamine sources because our receptors don't hang on to it very well. Dopamine is a neurochemical that our brain releases, everyone's, yours too, to basically say good job anytime we perform a behavior that we'd associate with keeping us alive. So things like giving our bodies food, giving our bodies exercise, solving problems, receiving social approval, or just doing something that makes life worth living to our own subjective reality, something that brings us joy or fulfillment. Things that, in a survival context, which is all our brain is really concerned with on its most basic level, might help keep us alive. So, where a typical brain might think, I'll shower, I'll do what I was planning to do, I'll put on clothes, or I won't film this, it's just for me. My ADHD brain thought, this looks like I'll get a hit of dopamine from touching the piano. I will get a hit of dopamine from the feel of the keys under my hands. I will get a hit of dopamine from the sound the piano makes. I'll get a hit of dopamine from the sound the piano makes when I'm not quite there, but I'm close. I'll get a hit of dopamine from the sound the piano makes when I do actually get it right. I'll get a hit of dopamine from the editing the video, which always feels like assembling a puzzle. I will get a hit of dopamine from sharing the video online and from every little like or comment or view. And I think all of that at once, well, not exactly thinking it. Like ADHD feels like living life speed reading, where you see all the words and comprehend the gist, but don't exactly verbalize them in your head. It's like life in Gestalt or something like that. Anyway, yeah, this whole naked piano thing is a good example of the attention deficit part, the hyperactive ability to be distracted. I am a magpie. The piano represents a shiny object. I need to have it in my beak. I'm not suggesting the most known parts of ADHD don't exist, not by a long shot. I just want people to know that this other part also exists, this hyperfocus, this ability to single-mindedly dedicate oneself to a task to the exclusion of any other distractions at all. I mean, look at this maniac. 44 minutes and 29 seconds before my phone ran out of space of nonstop attempts to figure out something my 34-year-old brain and decade of jiu-jitsu battered fingers are having difficulty learning. I didn't take a break. I barely looked up. I had no idea how long I'd been there. If you'd asked me, I might have guessed 15 minutes passed. I mean, part of ADHD is that too. It's experiencing time travel regularly. Or more precisely, I think I experience time as I believe a dog does. It has a sort of absolute and constant nowness to it, time. This makes time extraordinarily flexible. 5 minutes can feel like an hour can feel like a day, and very, very much vice versa. Honestly, my brain doesn't seem to really comprehend much outside of a 72-hour window, which makes a lot of things difficult, like planning for the future, getting projects done that take longer than a week of intense focus. But it does make me and other ADHD brains capable of almost superhuman focus inside of those little windows, if I can engage it. I've developed some strategies around this, but nothing super surefire. It still requires a lot of practical discipline, which I know everyone out there watching this, reading this, listening to this, who also has ADHD, just had a hearty laugh at. But when I can hack my brain to do what I want instead of just leading me around with its sort of canine approach to life, it can be quite remarkable. And truly it is quite remarkable in its natural state. I mean, my brain, along with my fellow dog brain dopamine fiending ADHD comrades, it's frustrating inside the standard structure of our society and economy. But left to our own devices, it is a very poetic experience. Life is vibrant and electric. I always think of Walt Whitman, like he was describing my experiences. I mean, when I'm not dominated by depression, that's a whole other thing though. But yeah, Walt Whitman, Leaves of Grass, Song of Myself, always felt super ADHD to me. Houses and rooms are full of perfumes. The shelves are crowded with perfumes. And, you know, my respiration and inspiration, the beating of my heart, the passing of blood and air through my lungs, basically all of Song of Myself from Leaves of Grass. It's like, damn, have you reckoned 1,000 acres much? Maybe that was too ADHD a left turn. What I want to say is just that, I don't know, I'm not particularly sensitive about the language around mental health, but I do think calling this a disorder or a mental illness has never felt right. I believe there's a good reason for a grand neurodiversity among us. While a lot of structure of our society might make those of us with ADHD feel useless, impossible, confused, or just like a puzzle piece from the box of a different dimension, I want to say to those people, you know, fellow dog brains, just remember the unique shape of your brain and the point of view it allows you to contribute to our world is not just interesting, but essential. I mean, have you ever noticed how when other people are freaking out, you tend to be very calm? Part of that is because your ADHD means your brain is also naturally producing less norepinephrine, or aka adrenaline. So we tend to feel normal and calm when we actually get a shot of it. It's why our speedy medication actually calms us down. It brings us to normalized levels. ADHD people tend to thrive in professions that move at a high pace, require constant problem solving, require managing a lot of different factors all coming in at the same time, very social settings and circumstances that change often, just generally environments that can cause a lot of stress and can feel overwhelming for neurotypicals. Dog brains do well as first responders, artists, teachers, builders, inventors, designers. I wanted to put this video out because I know how useless and frustrating it can feel to have a dog brain like this. I know how frustrating it can be to the people around you, and as a result, the hit your self-esteem can take from it. I truly believe there's a very real and important and essential place for the shape of our brain in the big human puzzle. Sometimes just knowing that there's a space for me and my brain has been something a little more than comforting. Yeah. So that's it. This continued for a while. I don't know. I'll fast forward and let you see if I got it. Wow. ADHD and action, you know? I should, whatever. It's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. So I thought I'd just see if, some plasticity or something. I thought I'd see if it kicked in overnight. So. Hey. Cool. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this, you might I don't know, you might like, I do a podcast about mental health. It's called My Good Bad Brain. And I talk a lot about ADHD stuff and depression, and sometimes just me talking about that, kind of like this. But sometimes, a lot of time, it's interviews with other folks talking about what they go through, all kinds of stuff. Bipolar and also depression, anxiety, and ADHD are very common, and just being a person. So if that interests you, check it out. It's called My Good Bad Brain. It's wherever you can get podcasts, pretty much. iTunes, Spotify, wherever. And you can go to patreon.com/mygoodbadbrain. And you can find it there too. You can throw some cash at it if you want. It's on this YouTube channel as well. So you can find those. I don't know. Most people don't listen there though. All right. Oh, mygoodbadbrain.com. I got shirts and stuff if you want those. All right, thanks. Bye.